we are going to face escalation. And there is no power at the moment which can really stop it. Netanyahu has not listened to Trump and has gone ahead with what he wants to do, unless, of course, there is a very sophisticated complicity between the United States and Israel for doing this. That there are a lot of American bases in the region in different countries, whether it is Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, all these countries, Bahrain, all they are hosting, and they are going to be in the line of fire if Iranian missiles start going haywire here and there. Multilateral institutions are totally, except issuing statements, they can't do anything. Israel wants to decimate the nuclear facilities or delay it by a decade or so if it can.
Hi, I'm Pratim Ranjan Bose, and you are watching Podcast with Pratim, presented by Iravati Research and Communication Center, or IRCC. We will discuss Israel's strike on Iran, it codenamed Operation Rising Sun, and its impacts. I have with me retired Indian Ambassador Shri Anil Trigunayat. Ambassador Trigunayat is an expert on Middle East affairs, though I'll ask him something wider. Sir, this is a quick podcast, naturally, and I have only two questions. With Israel targeting Iranian nuclear facilities and killing both the army chief and the IRGC chief, along with nuclear scientists and etc., the war seems inevitable. The flip sides are known to all. Oil is trading right at this moment. WTI crude is trading 7 to 8% higher. Closure of airspace will increase cost of aviation. Trade will be costlier. The US denied its role. President Trump said Israeli attack will wreck chances of an agreement on Iran's nuclear program. Iran also withdrew from the negotiation. Clearly, the attack seems to be to prevent the deal. The question is, can Israel pull it through? Can they destroy Iran's ambition? Because otherwise, Iran is also not financially in very good situation. So this is the first question. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pratimji. We are talking at a very, very difficult time. If it escalates, it's going to be extremely dangerous scenario that we are looking at. But Israel, which has been not very happy about the Trump's efforts to sign some kind of a nuclear deal with Iran, especially when Iran in the past has been able to enrich the uranium to the weapon grade material nearly to that. And in last few days, we have seen that Iran had come out with several of the documents, apparently Israel's nuclear program, and discussions with the IAEA, complicity and all that. And it was going to expose it. And it has already shared some of these documents, whether they are true or not, credibility one does not know, which means it gives it also the access to the Israeli nuclear facilities and other things. Now, both these countries have been fighting and since 1979, and in my view, suffer from this mutually assured destruction syndrome, MAD syndrome. And they both have been undermining the other, there is no doubt. But Israel, as you know, has tried to kill so many of Iranian nuclear scientists, thinking that this is what will prevent Iran becoming a weapon state, nuclear weapon state. Iran is, of course, an NPT state. Israel is not. Israel is also a nuclear power in the region. Iran has been trying to have some kind of a parity and deterrence against Israel. In recent years, we have seen 2 years that Israel has decimated Hamas, decimated completely Hezbollah to a great extent, and has also impacted on Houthis, which were basically Iran's extended arm and arms of influence, strategic asymmetry that they provided to Iran. And so Iran has had some problem here. So this is something that they look, because see, Iran and Israel are not contiguous nations. So the war has to be aerial in most senses, or naval somehow. So it will be only missile war. Now, missiles means that so many other countries in the region are also going to be in the line of fire. United States, of course, has said that President Trump has himself said that I have told Netanyahu not to strike because that will derail the deal. And they had both sides as once again, after sorting out some of the remaining issues, decided to meet in Oman again on this Sunday. Steve Witkoff and Naragachi were supposed to meet on Sunday, and this was expected that possibly as some kind of a blueprint of the new deal, which will be called a Trump nuclear deal, would have been sorted out, which is what Israel does not want because it feels that allowing Iran any more time to enrich and its clandestine operations, it feels are directly relevant and threatening to its own security and sovereignty. And therefore, it says it has taken the preemptive strikes and it has been threatening to do so for quite some time. It has stopped for a while, but now he thought that under the garb of negotiations with the Trump administration, Iran was very quickly acquiring those facilities. So what it did was it has done to Hezbollah very similar thing it has done last time. If you remember, he even threatened that they could kill the supreme leader as well if it comes to that. Now that today we have heard that his political advisor Ali Shamkhani, who used to be the NSA, also has been attacked, and apparently he's also succumbed to his injuries. That's what the reports are coming in. Then killing the strategic forces commander, killing the IRGC military chief, and all. What he has done is top leadership has been decimated, thinking that perhaps it will be completely in disarray. But it depends. Now I'm quite sure that the Iranians are going to take away revenge of this, and they are not going to say not to what level, to what extent they are going to do. It depends. If they continue both sides, because then there will be a counter retaliation also from the other side. So we are going to face escalation, and there is no power at the moment which can really stop it, because Israel not listened to Netanyahu. Netanyahu has not listened to Trump and has gone ahead with what he wants to do, unless, of course, there is a very sophisticated complicity between the United States and Israel for doing this to pressure Iran even more. But Iranians, under this kind of a pressure, will not yield. We have seen it in the past and we'll see in the future. So, therefore, the region is in total turmoil at the moment, is in a very difficult state. And this is something we have been fearing from day one of October 7 onwards. And this has been a fear for last so many years. It appears to be coming true now with both these nations getting into the kill each other kind of a syndrome, which will be an extremely dangerous for the region and for the world.
Sir, this US is apparently saying that it has no role in it. Israel is seen as an extension of US in the Middle East. That is what is perceived. The question is simple: can USA deny its role in escalation of the conflict? Because otherwise, President Trump had pulled out of the deal with Iran in his first term, and now with Mr. Netanyahu didn't have that good a relationship with the Democrats at the end, and then a lot of things had happened over the last 6 months in that area. So, how do you look at it?
Well, I think that at a deeper strategic level, Iran and Israel and USA are on the same page. There is no doubt about it. President Trump often says that the deal doesn't go through all options on the table, including attacking Iran or strikes by Israel and by the US. Now, there could be two reasons why Marco Rubio, who has issued a statement that we had nothing, it was a unilateral decision on the part of Iran, or on the part of Israel to attack Iran. Now, this is something maybe for two reasons. One is that they are still hoping that they could cut that deal with the Iranians. And secondly, is that there are a lot of American bases in the region in different countries, whether it is Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, all these countries, Bahrain, all they are hosting, and they are going to be in the line of fire if Iranian missiles start going haywire here and there. And Iranian leadership has also said they consider them as a Satan, that they are going to spare none of these facilities and the bases of the United States in that. So it would be to prevent the attacks on the US facilities, which are located in the Gulf countries, especially. I think that could be one of the strategic reasons. But of course, Israeli security is the most paramount concern and foreign policy objective of the United States in the Middle East now. That is the only thing. There is no doubt about it. So they don't like Netanyahu. Trump does not like him because he has been violating all the time whatever Trump has wanted. He has defied him more often than not. And Trump is very, very unhappy with Netanyahu. There is no doubt about it. He could have, when he was in Saudi Arabia, there was a plan that he could visit if the deal was cut, once again, the exchange deal. So that's why they started directly talking to Hamas and got secured some of the hostages. Now, uh, how will it play out? That is the important part. Now, the Iranians obviously, now it depends on what kind of a response the Iranians can pull off, despite the very large, top leadership being decimated, which will be a very major loss because that creates a problem for coordination and mount the kind of a attack that they're looking to hit Israel with. We have heard that in Israel also there is a great panic. Leadership is also in bunkers. So this is something we have to see. Now the next threat is people are saying that there could be an attack to remove even Ali Khamenei. So that will again create a very major problem. Most of the regional countries are worried, concerned, like India also is very much concerned. We have a large number of Indian people, 9.5 million people there. India has even offered to play any role because both the countries are our important partners. So United States has to pull up its socks if it wants to stop it. But then I doubt very much that the Iranians can be stopped at this stage.
So the last question. President Trump stopping the war was a promised agenda of President Trump. The reality proved otherwise so far. There is no end to Ukraine-Russia fighting. Israel conflict is increasing. And on top of all, there are problems even in USA. That is, of course, internal issues. But the scenes over the last couple of years of burning cars and everything has not been very pleasing. My question is whether President Trump's, it seems that he has been under pressure somewhat, or his grip has somewhat been weakened, if there is a possibility, any such possibility. Over the last couple of months, so do you think that what should I say? The weaknesses or the conflicts in US itself and overall. So is that anyway, making Israel emboldened to act and take it up to the next level to finish it?
Israel basically depends a great deal on the Jewish lobby, which is extremely strong and runs the show in the United States. So, irrespective of the administration, whosoever comes, they are able to play a much larger influence on any of the administration, be it Democrats or be it the Republicans. They control a large part of the US economy in that sense of the term. So they do dictate that. Besides, of course, as usual, they do have a greater sympathy with Israelis and with the Jewish state per se. So there is no doubt about it. But at the same time, I think that Trump, we have to give him the benefit of doubt that the man has tried. He tried very hard to stop the Russia-Ukraine war. He even brought them together, and now at least whatever is happening in their midst, he is somewhere there to try to prevent it and try to sound a bit reasonable, even though often he's been seen as very unreasonable. Likewise, in the Middle East war, before he entered the office, he had told both sides, Hamas and Israel, that war should stop. And they did have some kind of a ceasefire, which was also breached again by Israel, saying that the Hamas is not doing enough. Now, that is something you can't control. There are sovereign countries, non-state actors. You can take them to the pond, but you can't make them drink. But that is something there. So we'll have to see. Trump is trying to force. There is no doubt about it. I mean, I personally feel that, but his approach has been very divisive, very disruptive with other parts of the world. So therefore, in the United States itself, they are having a lot of domestic problems and domestic issues. And he is there, I mean, as a superpower or a hyperpower. It is important for the United States to be present everywhere and try to diffuse the crises rather than create them. But he has created different kind of attention. That is tariff tension, tariff wars, trade wars. I mean, those are no less damaging. They are
And
also
not making
disrupting the
any
whole
distinction
international
between
system.
friends and foes.
Yes. I mean, people say, I mean, I always say that he is equanimous, as they say, Samdarshi kind of fellow, to both the friends, enemies, and frenemies. But some people corrected me and they said that he is more, looks very specially for his anger towards his friends than his enemies. So, well, this is how Trump is. So he plays a role, but I hope that they pull up their socks and they are able to try and help and at least reduce the intensity of this conflict. Otherwise, it will be highly damaging and disruptive for the region and the world.
Uh, Thank you, sir. I have a feeling that we have to keep on talking on this for quite some time
Yes.
now, because because what I see, as a layman, is that the geopolitical contest that was there already before Trump has taken over, somehow Trump's alternative approach to geopolitics or world relations has somewhere or the other enhanced those cracks or given some kind of, so maybe we are getting in the middle of a turf war somewhere. And the worst part is that the economic impact, the shocks, assume that the war happens. We know the regional economies, the state of affairs in Bangladesh and smaller economies. So I'm sure there will be many political uh, upheavals everywhere. A lot of things are going to happen. So we might have to keep on talking about it too often
Yes,
and
you are right.
regularly.
Absolutely. We are in a churn. It's a transitional world order. And what Trump has done is whatever was left of basically the so-called post-World War II liberal order, he has pushed it down the hill already. So we still don't have anything new. So today, except appealing to good sense, dialogue, and diplomacy, there is very little left for any country to play any constructive role in doing anything today. It's because there is no system at all. Multilateral institutions are totally, except issuing statements, they can't do anything. I mean, you know that last 2 days ago there was a UNGA resolution, UNSC resolution. The United States was the only one which vetoed that resolution for ending, you know, for asking for ceasefire in Gaza. So that is something that shows clearly that the United States is very much part of the deal, but they definitely did not want Israel to take the lead in what they have done. I mean, Israel wants to decimate the nuclear facilities or delay it by a decade or so if it can. But I don't know if it is possible.
Thank you, sir. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you.